today, social media workshop. Some of you are already what I would say ahead of the curve when it comes to social media. We're all ranging in different years of or a range of different years of experience. You know, some people just got started in the business. Some people have been in the business. Like, how long you been in the business, Aaron?
11 years.
11 years. Sean? A year.
6 years.
Brand new. 3, and then Jose.
9.
So for the people who are just getting started and the people who are 11 years in the business, social media is a challenge. It's like you feel like you're making progress, and then you look at somebody else's stuff and you're like, damn, I could be doing so much more, right? You think you know how to shoot a video, and then something changes with the algorithm. They release reels, and it's a never-ending pursuit of trying to get better, right? Which is ultimately what business is about anyway. Today, we're obviously going to be sticking to social media because that's the topic for this month. First, so today we're going to be going actionable steps on how to build a brand, create content at scale, which is everybody's problem, right? Get business from social media, obviously, and then 10 video ideas that you can do today, right? So first, I want to just explain what this whole Not Your Average Agents group is. So Not Your Average Agents, I'm always thinking of ways to add value to you guys. I think I've said that to each of you in individual conversations. I've said that all over social media, and it's the truth. It's something that I do think about very, very often. One of the things that has always been in the back of my mind is, like, why don't I start a coaching group for agents that I work with that is free, that they don't need to pay for? Because I've paid $2,000 a month for coaching. I've had $1,000 one-on-ones. I've went to countless amount of events. I have a lot of information that I've learned from other people that I apply in my business that I can give to you guys for free. And obviously the thought process is, if you win, I win, right? So I've always wanted to do something like this. I couldn't think of a good name. I couldn't get the branding down. And I felt like whenever I want to launch something, I want it to be somewhat perfect. And don't get me wrong, we're not perfect right now. We're still learning. But we came up with Not Your Average Agents because it's kind of like the obvious choice. So that's the name. We're a private mastermind group. We're going to do monthly workshops. So workshops like this that are going to vary in topic to topic. An example of our next topic could be financial planning, right? Because as you make more money in the business, that becomes more important. Another topic we can go into is past client marketing. How do we stay in touch with our database? We can do a workshop on CRMs. We can do a workshop, all these things that I do in my business, I'm going to teach you guys because it translates very well, right? Loan officer, realtor, yeah, it's a little different, but at the end of the day, we build our businesses similar ways. So that's the goal, is to do monthly workshops on different topics. Now, if you're not a part of the Facebook group, become a part of the Facebook group, because I'm going to be dropping quick tips in there, like, you know, hey, you should try doing this. Hey, use this script when talking to a seller right now. I'm also going to be dropping market updates. So, hey, this is what's going on with rates. I'm going to put shareable content in there. Like, I'm always dropping articles in there that you can share with buyers, with sellers, just on your social media pages. So that's all in the private Facebook group. If you're not a part of that, hit me up after, I'll invite you. The next key point that I want to point out is a lot of these coaching groups that I've been a part of across the country, some of the most value that I've extracted from the group is not from the presenter, not from the coach, not from the presentation or the content. It's the relationships that you build within that group with other people, right? So collaboration, you guys are going to obviously meet realtors that you could either work with in the future on a deal. You could create your own little accountability group. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to collaborate with each other. Competition, so this is something that I came up with last night as I was making this PowerPoint. Maybe I'll do something where it's like, you know the Remarkable, the little tablet, the electric tablet. Maybe I'll do a remarkable giveaway, and we'll figure out a way to compete for that, right? Whether it's leads or deals under contract or whatever it is, right? We'll run competitions like that, keep it fun, engaging.
Compete with that.
I don't know how to. I don't know. Mike is a house inspector for those of you who don't know. So competitions and then guest speakers. So maybe we bring in a Ricky Carruth. Maybe we bring in, a Ryan Serhant. Maybe we bring in, somebody like that can have an event or come and speak and teach us. Renee Rodriguez is a good one that'll teach you how to, that I've personally hired. So we're going to try I'm not going to be the only presenter, right? This is a topic that I think I know a decent amount about from experience, not because I have a credential or anything like that, but some topics I'm going to bring in guest speakers. And then group retreats. So this is something that I'm super excited about. I've always envisioned going away with 10 to 15 of my referral partners to the Hamptons for 2 to 3 days, running a workshop style thing there, like an immersive retreat where, we bring in a guest speaker. Jose, you present on X topic at 11 o'clock. We have lunch. Then Brandon, you present at X topic at 2 o'clock. And the cool thing about it is we're going to make content around it all, really cool footage to give to you guys. So you're not only going to learn, but you're going to have content that you can leverage, and you went away on this retreat. Sometimes that's all you get out of a retreat. If it's the same content over and over again, at least you're going somewhere, you post it on social media, people see that you're active and you're learning and you're pouring into yourself, right? So group retreats is something that I'm looking forward to. Mike, we'll let you come. So real partnerships. So at the start of all this, I explained to you that I'm always thinking of ways to add value to you guys. I wanted to put this slide in here because some of you were working together and you're not taking full advantage of the things that I offer, or we offer rather. So I wanted to quickly go over that stuff. So our 3 pillars is customer experience, communication, and collaboration. So customer experience, we're focusing and always trying to get better, whether it's implementing an app where people sign disclosures electronically, whether it's a seamless loan process, some sort of communication method with the customer, which kind of leads me to the next thing. How are we communicating with all parties during the process? We're always trying to, push the envelope on that subject. And then collaboration, all the different things that we do together to help each other build our businesses. So here are a few of those. Our proven out offer strategy, which is, we'll go into that another time. That allows your buyers to be more competitive in this market. Our pre-approval process, which saves you time, follow up on your leads. So if any of you referred a client to me recently, you'll see the emails that go out reminding you to follow up, me following up on documents. You're always in the know, and you'll never be able to say and I know this is a big bottleneck for a lot of lender realtor relationships. I send the client to them and I don't know what happens, right? That is to me, a non-negotiable. That cannot happen, because it's almost disrespectful that you don't know what's happening with your referral, right? So that's lead follow-up, in-process communication. So you guys probably know my video milestones, social media content. So at the end of this, we're going to go into that a little bit further, but let's do content together. I know, Aaron, you just posted that video that we did a while ago with the Wolf of Wall Street scene in it.
Yeah.
That did pretty well, right?
Yeah.
And Sean, we're going to do a quick video after this. Brandon, I don't know if we've done content together. We definitely should. Jose, same thing. And that's a very easy way for us to collaborate and me to add value to you. Mario's full-time. He's going to edit it, chop it up, send you clips that focus on you. It's not only for me. And I'm obviously going to get content out of it as well. So that's another value add. Print marketing, self-explanatory, past client marketing, and more coming soon. So let's get a quick little market update while you guys are here. Average 30-year mortgage rate, since it's important right now. Average 30-year mortgage rate is anywhere from 5.875 to 6.875. That's a wide range for a reason. You have different factors that go into rate. Down payment, credit score being the 2 obvious ones, but also occupancy. I just locked my loan for an investment property at 7.125. And that's my loan, right? So remember, if you see on the news 6% is the average, very, very easily can somebody be at 7, right? Depending on all the different factors of their scenario. It's not like everybody gets a 6%, right? Go ahead.
How does your, so the higher the down payment,
The better normally the rate.
the rate would be lower?
Correct. It's all factored on risk. All of those different factors are credit, such as, lower credit score, higher rate, because it's riskier.
Of course.
Investment property versus primary, investment's going to have a higher rate because it's riskier than a primary. So I think there's like 8 factors that go into rate, but that's why I put the range there. Mortgage applications are down, which is causing major layoffs hitting the industry. So some of your companies no, not anybody here. Some publicly traded real estate companies have announced layoffs. Even the ones that are not publicly traded are thinking about it, right? Small local mortgage companies are laying off. Big publicly traded mortgage companies are laying off. When the economy stops getting pumped with money, stuff starts to slow up and demand starts to cool down. When there's less money flowing, there's less need for employees, right? So it's directly affecting our industry, especially our industry, because there's no more refis. And a lot of these mortgage companies geared up, hired a ton of people, overpaid, sign-on bonuses, and now the volume drops off 40%. So naturally, you're going to hear more and more about that. I know me and Sean have a borrower right now, that she's buying a house. She works at a mortgage company, and she told me at the start of the application, I don't want to go on the loan because I'm probably going to get laid off. So there's stuff happening, right? And not only are we closing the loan, but we're setting her up for an interview. So, she's a processor, not a loan officer. But anyway, still now, here is the silver lining. Still limited supply. Supply is growing. You know this more than a lot of people, right? You see the more houses come to the market. My theory is it's June.
Right.
It's always like this. People have been waiting to list their house because of the end of the school year, so you always see a little bit of a spike. But a healthy spot is 1.5 to 2 million houses for sale. Right now we're under 1 million, which is year over year less, right? So in 2021 we had more inventory, and 2021 was very tight, right? So what this tells me is values are not going to plummet. Now, if you see this number hit 2 million and unemployment hits 6, 7, 8%, we have a problem. Unemployment is the thing that I'm watching when it comes to values, because unemployment leads to people panic selling their house, leads to people not being able to afford their mortgage, and now you have all those people putting their houses for sale. That's the thing that I would be most worried about. All right, so get right into the content now. I just wanted to touch base on those few things, set the foundation, give you a little market update. Why social media? So everybody says you got to be on social. Gary Vee will tell you that, if you're not on social, you're going to go extinct and you're not going to be in business. I don't completely agree with that. I think there's multiple ways to build your business, but here are some reasons why you should consider using social media or taking your social media to the next level. Number one, notoriety. I'll paint the picture for you. You sit down with a seller. You have a great conversation with them. The listing presentation was on point. You walk out of that listing appointment feeling yourself. You're like, I killed it. I killed it. I got this listing. You know what will really help? If at the end of that listing appointment, you were like, you should follow me on social media. After you leave and you walk out the door, what do you think they're doing? Yeah, they're scrolling. They're checking you out. Like, I only got to meet Jose for an hour. He was a nice guy, but let me see what he's about, right? It's not about the follower count. That's not what I'm talking about with notoriety. But if somebody goes to your page and they're impressed with the content, and not only impressed with the content and the value within the content, but they realize that you have a kid and you didn't tell them that, and they also have kids. Now you're connecting. Now this is the power that people don't talk about. social media allows you to connect at a deeper level without you being even in front of the person. I have people that follow me that in their head, I'm their friend. I've never met them before. But in their head, I'm their friend because they know I like Starbucks. They know I got the Tesla. They know, and they also find my content educational. They do jujitsu as well. So that's the power, and the notoriety is more so focused on like, I respect this individual a lot more because I went through their page and I saw that they have some decent content, right? Not talking about follower count. So that's the first reason. Second reason is online presence, which kind of piggybacks on notoriety, but people have to be able to find you nowadays. I can't tell you how many times that I've got a contract and I've tried to search up the listing agent and I can't find their phone number. Like, yeah, maybe that's not happening every day for consumers. Not everybody's Googling Eric Braun and not being able to find your phone number, but it's like, who is this guy? Right? So you have to have some sort of online presence. Social media is going to help you with that. Stay in touch with past clients. This is another one that a lot of people don't think about. Not everybody thinks about social media as a way to get clients. I put out content, people are going to see my content, they're going to call me to list their house. That's very rare. What's way more common, and in my opinion more valuable to some extent, is the people that you've helped in the past. They follow you, and it's just like them subscribing to an email list. You're staying top of mind with them, you're staying in touch with them without calling them every day, without sending them a postcard. It's the new email list, it's a new postcard. Now, I'm not saying those things are bad, because you should do those on top of that, but when a past client follows you, that's it. They can never forget about you if you're posting content all the time. They can never forget about you, right? And the last part, which I just touched on with notoriety as well, is you connect with people on a human level. People can know you. People can trust you because you put out educational stuff. They trust your expertise. They respect you. But if they don't like you, they just go to your page to learn, right? So social media, if you do it the proper way, like Mike does a very good job at this. He'll post goofy stuff. Jose, you show your personal side as well. Like, people begin to like Mike. And even if they don't send him a referral right then and there, I like that guy. That's a very powerful thing. Think about the power of that on scale, right?
If I can just add to that.
Please.
I get a lot more engagement when I post something.
People
than how boiler operates. Or something.
Yeah. And it's a combination of both. One is not better than the other. It's hitting them on both fronts. So, common excuses. It doesn't work, which we just went over a few reasons why it clearly works, and it's worked for me and it's worked for a lot of people here. I don't have time, which we're going to go over how to kind of more effectively manage your time, put out content at scale, and then I don't know what to talk about. I'm also going to give you 10 content ideas that you can take a picture of it at the end. You can take it home and you can tomorrow, even today, start working on those ideas. Creating your brand. So it all starts with the brand. Whenever I talk about brand, I always use the definition that Jeff Bezos put out there. He said, a brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room, right? Let's talk about what brand is not. Brand is not your IG handle. Brand is not your logo. Brand is not the colors, right? That's the glue that holds your brand together. Design and brand, little different. Brand is the principles, what you stand for, your mission, right? Now, of course, you want all of those things to kind of cohesively go together, right? But I'll give you an example. If my Instagram handle was not your average lender, but there was no defeating average in real estate, it's not as impactful. If you have a really good Instagram handle, not your average lender, but I don't put out content that communicates my message, there is no not your average lender. You guys, so it's not your IG handle, it's not a logo, and a lot of people, when they start with like, I want to start a brand, this is the stuff that holds them up for years. They're trying to figure out a logo. You can change your logo. But like, what is at the core of that, right? So, and your IG handle could be Aaron Bates Real Estate. Aaron Bates Real Estate is a brand. It's not, you know, some cool name, right? But it's way more powerful than a cool name without substance. Aaron Bates Real Estate holds weight, you know? So that's what a brand is not. And these are the questions that you should be asking yourself. It is extremely valuable if you just sat down with a pen and paper and did this little exercise and asked yourself these questions for an hour. What are your principles? What's your value proposition? Who's your ideal customer? And I'd also throw in there what separates you. That's your brand. Mission statement, so like I just said, Nike, just do it. Who can think of another one? Another famous one. Google's new one is there's no place like Chrome. What's another good one?
Ford built tough, right?
Ford is built tough.
I'm thinking.
You love Ford.
Oh my God.
You love your truck. State Farm is
Like a good no.
like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. So imagine it was just State Farm. Imagine it was just Nike. Imagine it was just Google, right? The mission, that's where the real substance comes in. You get your mission statement by asking yourself these questions. Then ask yourself, does my content currently, what's up? Then ask yourself, does my content currently communicate that? That's a tough one. You put together all this branding, you put together a logo, you got your mission statement, and then you look at your IG page and you're like, or your social medias in general, because not just about Instagram. Does my content communicate that? That's a tough question, right? So I don't want you to focus too much time on this and not the next few slides, right? So some general principles before we really dive in with the actionable stuff. And these just come from commonly asked questions that I get when people are just starting out in social media or have been doing social media for a while. But just in my experience, when I was in Colorado presenting and teaching a different class, but I like this one a lot better. Teaching a different class, these are the questions that I was kind of getting. You always get the question, should I have a business page and a personal page? No. It's my opinion. You could do it. Some people have their reasons, right? A lot of moms don't want to put their pictures of their kids out there. I get that. I can't relate with that. So that minus from the equation, I get it, I understand. My personal opinion, mixed personal with business, you don't want to be an advertisement. If you're an advertisement, you're not going to get that deeper level of connection that I talked about earlier, right? People are going to know you're in real estate. They're going to trust that you get the job done because you're talking about real estate all the time, but are they going to like you, right? So it's trifold. So you want to entertain, you want to educate, and you want to share some of your personal style. So like Sean, you were out on the boat the other day. What you don't realize when you post that, I go, Sean has a boat. I didn't know that, right? Now I can talk about him. I can talk to him about boating if I was a boater, right? Or I can mention to you, oh, my friend has a boat and he docks in Freeport. Where are you? So putting your personal life out there allows people to connect with you on a deeper level. Content must match the platform. This is something that I struggled with. I've always been an Instagram guy, but I've always seen the value of expanding into different platforms. Like I wanted to build out YouTube, I wanted to build out TikTok, then I wanted to build out LinkedIn. Your content needs to match the platform. Now, if you're brand new or you don't really find value in the other platforms and you want to stick to one or two, which I think is what you should do at first, and then you start to expand when you get stuff down pat, that's one thing. But if you're going to try and take like a multi-platform approach, you can't post Instagram stuff on YouTube and vice versa. You can't post a 30-minute YouTube video to Instagram, right? So, and we'll go into the different platforms and their personalities. I kind of look at them as personalities, but the content must match the platform. Consistency is key. This is the thing that everybody struggles with. It's cool to post a video, but if it takes you another 6 months to post a video, it's not, I mean, some content is better than no content, but you're gonna find value in consistency. I don't think you need to follow the Gary Vee thinking of you need to post 5 times a day. I think if you post 3 times a week, you're way ahead of the curve. And I know some of you in the chairs right now are already way ahead of the curve. You might be experiencing some guilt right now, like, I gotta do more, I gotta do more. You look at, you know, Gary Vee's stuff, you look at Bradley, you look at all these people and you're like, damn, I gotta step up my game. Take a deep breath. Consistency, frequency is important. You don't need to post 5 times a day, but 3 times a week, I think that's an attainable goal for everybody. Collaborate. So easy way, and we'll go into that in I think 2 slides from now. Very easy way to put out more content is if you collaborate. So Jose, shoot a video with Aaron. Mike, shoot a video with Brandon. Sean, shoot a video with me, right? Now and just have a conversation, and you can clip that up, and you can turn it into reels. You can drop the full version. It makes it a lot easier to have conversations on camera than to just do the straight head on. Okay guys, give you a market update. You know, we got 6 houses for sale in 11550. I'll catch you next month. That's very nerve-wracking because you don't want to say the wrong thing. Everybody has the imposter syndrome a little bit. Everybody if you're achieving at a high level, I believe if you're achieving at a high level, you kind of, there's this voice in the back of your head like, who the fuck do I think I am? You know, like I'm giving market updates, you know, like I posted a video about Ukraine and the war and oil prices, and that took me an hour to put together because I was Googling stuff and I was like, you know, I'm sweating. I'm like, you know, I didn't go to school, like all these things. I don't have an economics degree. Who am I to talk about geopolitical stuff and how it's affecting the mortgage? But like, it's easier and you're going to have more fun if you collaborate. What's crazy is the more stuff you put out, like if you're posting a video a day, three videos a week, I don't even look at my content anymore. Like, or I look at it, I'm like, I look like shit, but I'll post it anyway. Because I know deep down that the last post, I looked all right. You know, I posted the day before and I looked good. So, you know, if somebody's gonna judge me on that one video, then that's up to them. But the more content you put out, the less that you care about what others think about you, the metrics. You're not obsessed with the likes anymore. You're not obsessed with the comments. So just remember that. You gotta build momentum though. Experiment. So this is something that you need to be a marketer. You need to think about your audience. You need to think about, like, let me try a long caption on this and see how it does. Let me try a short caption. Let me not do hashtags on this one. Let me do 3 hashtags. Let me do 30 hashtags. Experiment, because that's the only way you're gonna learn. Let me post this video on TikTok, even though it's not really TikTok style stuff. Well, let's see how it does, right? Don't be afraid to, like, for content or a piece of content to fall flat. You need to experiment to figure this stuff out. The big guys, Gary Vee, he puts out posts that flop. Don't get it confused. His flop is still 1 million likes, but I guarantee you there's somebody on his team that, like, that one didn't do good. You know, and they're taking note of that. And why didn't it do good, right? So experiment. Activity. So if you're not doing a video, be active. At least post a Facebook status, ask for recommendations, use the platform, right? That's extremely valuable, even if you're not posting related real estate related content. Share your wins. This means screenshots of conversations with clients when they're like, Aaron, thank you so much. You did it. You know, like, I can't believe it. You made it so easy. Screenshot it. You can blank out their name. Share your wins. Don't be afraid to share your wins. You just had the best month of your career. Share your wins. You don't need to do it in a braggy way. remain humble, which I don't think any of you have the problem of. Maybe Mike. I'm just but share your wins. Don't be afraid to post the closing photo. If that's all you do, then it becomes boring. So find a little balance. Reviews, stories, etc. All right, creating content at scale. This is the big one that everybody has a tough time doing. So here are a few things that you can keep in mind. Start with what you're already doing on a daily basis. So today, I woke up, I try to do a vlog a week. That's for YouTube. The problem with me sharing about my content strategy, I don't want you to think that what I do is like a requirement. So like, don't think that you need to do a vlog a week. That's very daunting. It's still daunting to me, but whatever. So I do a vlog a week. I wake up, I say, today would be a good vlog, right? Because I'm doing this workshop. I'm already doing this. You're already going on a showing. You're already, going to an event. You're already doing that. How do we create content around it? That's the question that I'm constantly asking. So what do? We start a vlog for that day. I wake up, I turn on my phone. Hey guys, today I'm going to do da 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 da. Also, you see the vertical camera here? So there's this camera straight on and the vertical camera here. The vertical camera is for reels. So I'm already doing this. We might as well make some reels out of it, right? Then the one straight forward is going to be a full video that I put to YouTube of the whole entire presentation. I'm already doing this and I've created a vlog, the full video, tons of reels are going to come out of this. And we're going to do a recap video showing how cool the event is. So there's 4, not even pieces of content, it's more than 4 pieces of content, but 4 different things that I'm taking advantage of everything that I'm doing in the day already. And you guys you're doing interesting stuff. I know you don't think it's interesting, but you're doing interesting stuff. So ask yourself that. Start a list. So in my phone, I have a list of different ideas that pop into my head. When it's time to shoot content, which is my time blocking is the next thing. Try to set some time aside every single week, whether it's Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Saturdays from 10 to 1, whatever it's set one time a week and you're going to take your social media to the next level. But I start a list because how many times have you had an idea for a piece of content and it didn't come to fruition, right? Keep track of what your customers are asking. If they're asking you, Jose, why do I need to get pre-approved? Maybe you should do that. Maybe you should do a video on that because you're going to answer that question on the phone for the next client, but you can also follow up with a video. And it could be a social media content. So it becomes a part of your customer experience. It becomes a piece of content. It allows you to be more seamless with delivering information to your customer. Build a catalog, right? Creative ideas, creatives. I'm not the best speller. Creative ideas. So we came up with a skit where Mike was going to pretend to be me and I was going to pretend to be Mike. We had that idea 3 weeks prior. It went on my list. We picked out a day, and we make sure to check it off. So when you have that creative idea, a skit that you want to do, write it down. At least it's there, and you won't forget about it. Reel/trending sounds. If you're scrolling through and you hear a sound or a song that all right, I should probably pretend to be holding a file and slam it down because this sound would go cool with it. Send it to, I have a second Instagram page that I don't post on. I'll send it to that so it's in my DMs and now I can save that sound or I remember to go back to it and then I write my idea down on my list.
You can save the sound.
I was going to say the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
But then you don't have the idea. So you just got to save the sound and then...
You do both.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, thanks. So save your sounds. Collaborate interviews, went over that, change of clothes. So when I first got started in social media, I would do once a quarter. And I was putting out way more content than anybody else. This was when Instagram was more pictures. So this was 5-6 years ago. Nobody was really doing video at that point. Everybody was doing pictures. I would bring 3 changes of clothes and I'd hire a photographer once a quarter. So every 3 months, I give him $300 and we'd take a ton of photos. We'd change locations, I'd change my clothes, and I didn't have to shoot anything. It would be once a month for 3 hours. That's a very, very effective way to put out content at scale. You can do that same thing with video, because now everything's going away from still pictures, but pictures are still valuable. Don't get it confused. Series/show. So you guys have probably seen my coffee runs with Eric Braun. If you come up with a series or a show like that, it's very easy to put out more content, right? The coffee runs was based off of what I was doing already every day. I was going to get coffee, and it was a series of shows. So, you know, I would come in and be like, I need some coffee, man. It's 3 o'clock. And I'd go to Mario and I'd say, let's shoot a video of coffee runs with Eric Braun. I'm already doing it. It became a show. It became cool. We made a little jingle. Yeah, whatever. Pillar content, this is a little bit advanced. So this is what Gary Vee talks about. Gary Vee, all of his content comes from like 4 different things. It's his show that he interviews people, Ask Gary Vee. When he keynotes on a stage. When
he runs into people at conferences.
So if he's at an event or his like daily life, he actually, you know what's funny? He puts out more content than all of us. He never sits down to shoot content. He has just 4 different things that are really long form that then he'll take his team, right? And this is why he's able to do this. His team will chop up that keynote into a YouTube video, some reels, some pictures with quotes on it, and he drops it on audio, etc. So that's pillar content. So he has his pillars, right? That's a little advanced, but that's something that you can think about as you start moving forward. Podcast, should you start one? Maybe that's your thing. That's a good piece of pillar content because you can break that up and chop it up into different things. You're already going to closings, listings, walkthroughs, and showings. Shoot content around it, and then you could repurpose stuff. So, for example, repurposing, I always do this. When I post a Facebook status, I screenshot it, I put it to my Instagram story. You just took one piece of content and multiplied it into 2. And then you add a poll, and now it's engaging. So just think, how can I stretch this? This is all going to be repurposed up tons of different times. Reels and TikToks, everybody's obsessed because the algorithm and the views, you get all this reach and all. You need to remember that higher metrics isn't always the goal. More views, what does that do for you? It boosts your ego. It makes you feel good because you get a little rush of dopamine. But is that helping you with your business? So now I'm not saying don't post Reels and TikToks. I'm saying you absolutely should, but not for the purpose of getting higher views. I went to a conference once and somebody raised their hand and they're like, I just posted a Reel and I got 4,000 views. I'm like, so what did that do for you? Nothing, right? Stick to shareable content. So this is a mistake that I did with Reels and TikToks early on. I was taking videos like this or interviews, and I was chopping them up. But if what I was saying wasn't there, like you needed context around it, and you couldn't really understand what was being communicated. If it wasn't shareable, and people couldn't understand it in 10 seconds, it wouldn't do well. Because the nature of Reels and TikToks is it goes out to a cold audience. It does not go to your followers. It does go to your followers, but it also goes out to complete strangers. So you have to think, if a complete stranger is going to watch this video, is it shareable? Is it like something that somebody would want to, this is the way I think about it, something that somebody would want to take and share to their story? That should be a Reel, right? Not an announcement. If you're like, hey guys, I'm doing a home buying seminar, it's Sunday at 11 o'clock, you should go. That's not a Reel. That's a post. Because a cold stranger is not going, they're like, what? Well, get this guy out of here. He's got a cool sport jacket, but that's it, So think about that when you're doing Reels and TikToks. Make sure thumbnails grab attention when viewed from your profile. This is something that me and Mario needed to figure out, and it was frustrating and it was stressful, but I'll show you on the next slide exactly what I was talking about. snappy editing, so removing pauses. There shouldn't be much space. And if you've noticed, sometimes I'll pause for like 3 or 4 or 5 seconds when I'm speaking, because I'm trying to think about because I'm very intentional with what I say. That doesn't work with Reels. You lost them. So if you notice any of these guys, Bradley, Gary Vee, the people that are doing Reels, there's no pauses. And it looks weird because it's like you can clearly see that there was a snap edit to, you know, a different part of the conversation, but that's how you keep these people engaged. This is very important. On Reels, there needs to be a hook, there needs to be a body, and there needs to be a close. The hook is, you know, here are 3 steps for first-time home buyers. Okay, now if I'm a first-time home buyer, I'm waiting, right? You got me. Or, you know, here are 3 books if you really, like, that's the hook. That's an example of a hook. That is going to decide whether that reel is super successful or not really successful. And that goes back to the shareable content concept that I was trying to explain. That explains it a little bit better. The hook is something that I think is mandatory for a successful reel or TikTok. Just so you guys know, Instagram increased the duration of reels to 1.5 minutes now instead of 1 minute, which has helped us a lot because I tend to talk a lot, as you guys can tell. So this is what I was talking about. Make sure the thumbnail is posted correctly. What we've been doing is creating a thumbnail separate, and you can actually upload the thumbnail so it views better on your page. This is a reel, but who is going to watch it? Nobody. They don't know what it is. People are stingy. They're not going to just like, oh, let me see what this video is about. They want to know what they're watching. So 3 steps to buy a house, I'll click that. Pre-approval versus pre-qualification, I'll click that. This reel would have done so much better if in the thumbnail was the title of the video. Just example. Quick little Instagram bio, you know, workshop within a workshop. So you have your handle, which is your username, and you have your name. Now you notice how these are 2 bold things? What do they have in common? If you know the answer, and I've told you this before, don't say. Then what does your name and your username or your handle have in common?
You could search both.
Yeah, you can search both of them. I told you this.
I remember that. Yeah.
So Mike, perfect example. Mike's handle is Safety First HI, right? Home inspections. Whenever I would try to find or tag Mike, I wouldn't type in Safety First. I would type in Mike, and I couldn't find him because what he had was Safety First, Safety First. That's a waste of real estate. That's why if you notice here, I have Not Your Average Lender. So if somebody searches that, they can find me. I have Eric Braun in the name. So if somebody searches that, they can find me. If somebody types in mortgage, they can find me. I can pop up, right? And then LO I put in for compliance. But so think about that. Try to accomplish those 3 things or a few different things within those 2 pieces of real estate on your bio. I believe that you should put your location, especially as a real estate agent. It's not like you're going to want to talk to somebody that's buying a house in Hawaii. I mean, you might because you can refer them out. I get it, but it's better to be hyper local in your business, in my opinion, and in my business too. So I would recommend throwing your location somewhere in there. It could be New York, it can be Long Island, etc. Your mission statement. If you have one, you did that brand exercise, throw it in there because people are gonna be like, oh, that's cool, right? Think about your target audience and if it makes sense, but throw your mission statement in there. And then identify what you do. Sometimes you go to realtors pages and they post a ton of stuff about real estate. So if you did some investigating, you can find out that they're realtors. But put realtor in your bio or in your name or in your handle, right? Don't put realtor in your name and your handle because that's a waste of space. Maybe you're Jose Padro Realtor and then here you put real estate, right? Because now you're going to come up with realtor, you're going to come up with real estate, you're going to come up with Jose Padro, you're going to, so maybe you can accomplish one more thing if you got creative about it. But these are things that you want to think about. Accolades and awards. So this is where you kind of got to get a little braggy, because why am I following you? If you just won top 20 under 40, put it in there. If you did 600 home inspections, 600 home inspections, throw it in there. Now you're Safety First, HI, Mike Titino, home inspector, over 600 home inspections completed. And think about how much better the presentation is. This is the pull. If somebody goes to your page, they look at this and decide whether they're going to follow you or not. And it's a little superficial, but brag a little bit. If you've been in the business 11 years, put 11 years of experience, over 100 million sold. Realtors are going to find it douchey, but who cares, right? It doesn't, and so what? That's their problem. So accolades and awards, and then a link. I use Linktree. I think you could do a free version. I do the $6 a month version. I forgot why, but you can always, the Linktree allows you to have multiple things linked up. So I have YouTube, my LinkedIn, different things that I'm promoting. So whether it's brewery tickets or TikTok, you can throw in multiple links within Linktree. There's other ones, link in bio. There's a few different ones. I'm not saying Linktree is the best. That's what I did however many years ago, and I haven't fixed it. I haven't changed it. Platforms and their personalities. This is what I was talking about before. So when you think Instagram started with pictures, so it's very visual. That's why captions and like long, threads like Twitter or Facebook is not really relevant on Instagram. That's the personality. Don't get me wrong, I post long captions. There's value in long captions sometimes. Experiment with that a little bit. But Instagram was for photographers at one point. It was just still pictures and very cool, impressive looking wildlife stuff and dogs and cats. It still has that in its DNA. So think and coffee and food, and so things that people want to look at. So it still has that in its DNA. So think about that when you're posting. Now Instagram has opened up multiple features, which makes it a little bit more versatile and complex, where now you have reels, you have posts, you have stories. This could all be daunting for you. Like, where do I start? Just be active, like I said before, and it'll all get figured out. But that's the personality of Instagram. The personality of Facebook, the best Facebook post, most engaging, where should I eat in Williamsburg? Everybody and their mother has some spot. I'm looking for recommendations for, I don't know, whatever it is. People start commenting. So ask for recommendations, engaging questions. I remember I did this thing went viral. I did a post at the height of COVID. Would you buy a house sight unseen? Would you buy a house that you've never walked into? And I had, I'm going to say 1,000 comments. It was shared to multiple groups, whatever it was. Engaging questions are going to get a lot of engagement. Pictures and then groups. This is the most underutilized and one of the most valuable, aside from targeting, which they've kind of taken away of, and I don't really dabble in because I want to jump off a bridge whenever I try to run paid advertising. But groups is the only thing that Facebook has that no other platform can replicate. And that's why I think Facebook is going to be around for a long time.
It sounds like talking with someone might.
Yeah, it should. I agree. So Facebook groups. So here's a good Facebook group idea for a realtor. Make one for your past clients. Make a Facebook group for your past clients. Invite everybody to it. Think about how valuable it would be to take 30 minutes after today and just look through your list of past clients, add every single one of them on Facebook, and then invite them to a group. And then you post shareable stuff in there. I tried out this restaurant, tips for sellers. Now it's, again, you're subscribing them to another list that's not invasive. Everybody hates junk mail, random texts, cold calls, etc. but they'll join a Facebook group and get notifications for it. So past client group, that would be one actionable thing that you could do. You could also do a little bit more wider of a net, where like if you wanted to really farm an area, like let's say you want to go after Levittown, create a Levittown group. Be there, facilitate it, host it. Don't spam. There's a dichotomy to this. You can't just, contact me to buy a house and now your group is screwed up. But you create a community, and every once in a while you throw out there, I do real estate, just so you know, like, I do real estate, right? That's another very powerful strategy. I have Long Island's top producing realtors. A lot of you guys probably don't even know that's my group. There's 2,500 realtors in there. Obviously, my business, I'm supposed to go after realtors and build relationships with them and get referrals. That's a very good strategy. And then I have Not Your Average Agents as a group, because you guys are kind of like my past clients, right? I'm staying on top of you, staying top of mind. Here's some valuable stuff. Here's some stuff to share. Here's some stuff that I know you're gonna like, right? That's the concept of Facebook groups. Very powerful. TikTok, entertainment, education, cold audience, syncs with contacts. So people go to TikTok for two reasons: to be entertained or educated, right? They want to learn some cool like credit tip and whatever, how to buy a house with 0 down and 500 credit score. Like that's the stuff that does well on TikTok, right? But they also go there for funny stuff, sounds. So think about that when you're posting on TikTok. The cool thing about TikTok is it's a completely cold audience. It took me years to get a cold stranger to reach out to me through Instagram, and I have over 15,000 followers. On TikTok, I've been on it for maybe a year, and I had a complete stranger reach out to me saying, hey, I got a loan estimate from another bank. Do you want to take a look at it? And what's crazy is he told me, and I asked him, I'm like, how did you find me? I got this random phone number, random call. I found you on TikTok. Then I started watching you on YouTube. Then I followed you on Instagram. That's pretty freaking cool, right? I didn't get the deal, but whatever. Bastards. So, and I offered him a better deal, but whatever. So cold audience is the cool thing about TikTok, and it syncs with your contacts. Another thing that happened to me on TikTok is all of a sudden I get a like. Irene Bateman likes your video. Like, why do I know that name? I click on it's a past client of mine. It syncs with my contacts, and these people are going through my contact. Now I have past clients that I never was like, hey, follow me on TikTok, but I have past clients liking my stuff, commenting on it, and guess what? Another Mozamel Azizi is his name. He likes my now maybe I'll post this as a TikTok. Mozamel Azizi, you like my stuff because I helped you with your mortgage a while back. He sends me his brother, right? Who knows, if he didn't follow me on TikTok or stumble across me, would he have sent me his brother? Maybe not. Maybe he would have forgot about me, right? YouTube, think longer form, also cold audience. So longer form meaning longer videos. It's also a cold audience because are any of you, aside from Brandon, are any of you subscribed to me on YouTube? No. It's not, it's bullshit. Come on, like get out your phone right now. So, but think about it. Like you don't subscribe to your friend's YouTube. It's weird. A lot of people aren't even posting on YouTube, so it's colder, right? And it's search based. So Google owns YouTube. What is Google known for? I'm reading this book called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Google pretends like they're not a monopoly because they're also in tech and they're also in this and cloud-based this and that. But do you know they own 90-something% of search? There's no Bing anymore. There's no AskJeeves.com. Nobody goes anywhere to search anything aside from Google. So with that in mind, YouTube is very search optimized. I know for me personally, if I can't figure out how to use something on my new car, I go, how to shut my door on Tesla. That's how videos pop up to people. Complete strangers, I'm watching them. It's not like I'm followed to them or subscribed to them. So think search-based. That's why the title and the thumbnail to YouTube is all very important because you want to pull them in and you want it to be SEO optimized essentially. If you want successful clients, you need to be on LinkedIn. A lot of times I've dealt with clients in the past, I looked you up on LinkedIn. Because these are high net worth individuals, professionals. A lot of times they don't go to Instagram to look up if Kat has an Instagram page. They like, where's the Kat's LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn is important. Not my cup of tea, but I started to dive into it. Pro tip, share your social media pages with every client you speak to. Even if you're doing Zillow, you're cold calling. At the end of that call, share your profiles. That's another way to stay in touch with them. Think about how many conversation and leads are slipping through the cracks just because you're not like, hey, it was nice speaking to you, looking forward to helping you. I'm going to send you some listings. I'm also going to text you a link to all my social media profiles. Follow me on there. Think about how valuable that last 5 seconds will be for you, right? It's building a database. It's like a CRM, right? Start small. So pick 3 things. All this stuff that I just threw at you and you're like, shit, I got to do more LinkedIn and podcasts and I got this idea first here. Pick 3 things. This is something that I've suffered from. I would go to a conference, I'd write all these notes and I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. And then you get back and you look at your notepad and you're like, where do I start, right? So pick 3 things, think about it. Maybe you write a bunch of stuff down or you have some mental notes and you think about what's going to move the needle in my business more and pick those 3 things. Tell stories instead of just posting a closing photo. I think most of you have heard that before. Instead of saying, just close, congrats, say, hey, single mother. You want to pull out some heartstrings. Single mother, she thought that she couldn't own a home, this, that, and the third. You just greatly increase the value of that post, emotional value. Funny wins. I think that was supposed to be 2 different things. Whatever. Be funny. All right, so here to end off today, hope you guys got something out of it. Here are 10 video ideas because I don't want to hear anybody say I don't know what to talk about. So what is the first step into buying a house? You can shoot that with me, you can shoot that by yourself. How do you get started in the business? How you got started in the business. This is more personal, but it's also reminding people what the hell you do for a living. How did you get started? What do you like about the business? You can have somebody else ask you this question, or you could, here's the camera. You can pretend like somebody asked you the question and then say, I got started in the business, da 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 da. Some of my early videos, nobody was interviewing me. It was just me looking off into the side, asking myself a question, right? So how you got started, what do you like about, I really like the business because I like helping people and real estate has changed my family's life and, whatever. Or I bought a house once and it was the worst freaking experience ever and I was like, I'm going to do this better than anybody. Whatever your story is. Crazy and funny story, so people like this stuff. Some stories you can't tell because it's like too over the top. Tell a crazy story on a deal, right? Whatever. Do's and don'ts throughout the process. We've all heard them. Yeah, it's boring for you, but it's valuable information for everybody else. Why working with the buyer's agent is important. If you can't answer that question, don't expect to get buyer clients. So not only should you be able to answer that question, but shoot a video on it. So when somebody's like, I'm working with whatever agent can find me the house. How many times have we heard that? Right? I'm not really looking to stick to one agent, or I have this agent right now. Do your pitch, right? Because that's what we're in sales. At the end of the day, we're going to try and sell that client to work with us because we feel that we're going to help them best, right? After you say all that stuff on the phone or in person, follow it up with a video. You just took that message and greatly increased the weight of it. Like, damn, they shot a video on this stuff. Like, that's official. Somebody has already asked this question before, has already felt, it's like when you see something, when you hear something, like me and Aaron are having a conversation, but then I go see an article about it. now that information is like looked at a little bit more seriously, right? So if you follow stuff up with videos, that's a great way to kind of elevate your customer experience and convert higher. So that's a good one. Video on the neighborhood you grew up on, pretty self-explanatory. See, I'm not the best. This was also at midnight last night because I always do this to myself. What a hobby or interests of yours? You get it. Yeah. What are sharing a client success story, again, pretty self-explanatory. Sharing a struggle. So this is a good one that you can shoot off into the distance or have me interview you. Hey, you just got started. It's a year into the business. I mean, you've already closed 10, 12 deals, 15, 20 deals, whatever it is. You're building out a team. What's one thing you struggled with early on? Now you open up a vulnerable side of you and people are going to connect with you more. And just in case 10 videos wasn't enough and I told you I was going to give you 10, here's another 10. Rates going up, market news, common mistakes for buyers, common mistakes for sellers, proper pricing when listing a house, 3 tips for buyers, 3 tips for sellers, the process from A to Z, restaurant review, intro video. So an intro video is a cool one. Hey, this is Kat. Just wanted to record this video so that you can put a face to the voice. You can send this video after a phone call. Me and my team are looking forward to taking care of you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. What's the chance of that Zillow lead? If the Zillow lead goes and talks to another realtor right now, but you did well on the phone call, followed up with a video, shared your social, now they're following you. I'm gonna at least say that's a 50% increase on your conversion with that client, at least. Zillow leads and leads in general, you're still 6 months out, 8 months, sometimes 18 months out, but you're able to stay on top of them and nothing slips through the cracks. So how can we help? Started this presentation with I'm always thinking of ideas on how I can help you guys. Very, very easy. This is something very, very easy for us, and how we can help is we can shoot it for you. I can interview you. We can chop it up into different pieces and send you over content. I do this a lot of the times. You see people posting, it's content that me and Mario shot with them. A lot of lenders are gonna pay for leads, which I'm also open to. I do that with a few of you. Very few are going to invest in your brand because they don't know how. So I would like to do that for you. Whether it's me asking you, and sometimes, Chris White is a good example. He shows up, he has 5 questions that he wants to ask me, and very selfishly, he has 5 questions that he wants me to ask him, right? So you can come prepared like that, or we can just chop it up and have a 30-minute conversation like me and Aaron did, which we should do again because we figured out a bunch of things that we can make it better. But we could easily create content together. That's how we can help. So that is the social media workshop. I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope it wasn't stuff that you've heard before. You heard some new stuff because, again, a few of you have already embarked on your journey of social media. You're all at different stages. So I'm glad, I'm happy you guys came, and I hope you got something out of it.